Eventually, we'll purge off all the social media. Yep. It'll be great. But don't worry, man. I'm a change man. I'm here for you. And we're here for everyone as we go into our third game of the day. And what a game. What a game. Like, we were doing the wrap-up yesterday, and I was just like, I think we're actually ending the day, but I think this is going to be the best matchup of the day, EG versus Liquid, if EG can step up to the plate.
And I think they're definitely there, or within striking distance at least. At the last tournament, they fell a little short, but I feel like they exceeded expectations, and they looked within striking distance. At the next level, they just didn't quite make it. So I think this is going to be a really good game. That's for sure.
I'm hoping so. I'm more optimistic now about the game when I hear you say such a thing, because I was worried. Because you look at EG, things haven't been that perfect. They're up against Team Liquid. Like, Team Liquid just stepped everything up in Katowice, and now you're just like, okay, well, they come here, maybe they can feel a little bit lax, a little bit slack. Didn't look that way against LFY, but they also weren't really challenged.
Did you say they stepped up at Katowice?
I kind of...
Yeah, they still got third place, right?
Yeah, they still got third place.
I mean, they definitely looked really good at various points, but they did still fall flat. Not fall flat, but they didn't quite hit it. But still, getting top 4 is really impressive.
Yeah.
And they had some good knockout matches.
Maybe it's because I remember the game which didn't really matter that much, which was Game 3.
Yeah.
The third place matchup.
But you could maybe also argue the Fnatic got a little bit farther than they should have, maybe. Like, I think they definitely exceeded expectations, but maybe they should have only gotten 6th place instead of 4th. Are you saying that, like, Universe carried them as much as Lil carries Navi's points? Not necessarily, but the team as a whole played really, really well. Like, Fnatic had some amazing, like, the one game that they played, I think, that got them top 8 or something like that, just super impressed me. They had some amazing games, and they had some other games that kind of felt a little weird. So,
well, before we get into our draft, let's actually bring up our featured matchup. So we decided to focus on the cores, the big number 1 positions, Arteezy versus Matumba. How do you feel like the two players rank up against each other?
They're pretty similar, I guess, is maybe the safe thing to say. Arteezy has historically been thought of as the better player. He's historically been thought of as definitely one of the best players in the world, but Matumba Man is no joke at all. He's extremely talented as well. In some ways, they play similar roles right now in that they kind of just take these lanes that aren't very favorable to them, and they still do decent or well, which is impressive for both of the players. And they both kind of play semi-boring heroes sometimes. Definitely Matumba Man more so than Arteezy,
though. It's like Lycan and Lycan, right?
Yeah, a lot of Lycans, maybe some Vipers once in a while. You never know. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. Their playstyles are a little different. Their favorite heroes are a little different. It'll be fun to see how they do.
Oh, I'm hoping for no Vipers. I find that hero is beyond. Like, it puts me to sleep faster than a Naga song. But we have a new draft. So Terrorblade, Chen, Io taken out, Omni, Bounty, Beastmaster, and we're starting with Razor. And this feels very, very standard. Fun to see EG, very quick to answer, and they get both Rubik and a first phase Prophet. Takes it out of the way of Mind Control at least, but do you like the first phase Nature's Prophet?
It's a little bit unusual for sure, and it definitely means that EG has something planned here. And I know that with what people were saying around the backstage last tournament, that Nature's Prophet wasn't always the best hero. They actually didn't ban out a Keeper of the Light. That was one talking point that was focused on a lot. So the fact that they grabbed Nature's Prophet means that they've got something planned here. Matchup advantage, or a let them have Razor, we lay Nature's Prophet against it. That would be a decent example. Because at least then, you can static link the Prophet, but his treants are going to be hitting you that whole time, which should eventually be some kind of a trade advantage here.
I think I remember, who was it that was talking? I think it was either an EG video or something that Blitz was saying, with the way Misery approaches the drafting, where he goes in, he's like, I know exactly what I want to pick before I even get into it. And then I'm still going to stick to this. Like, we're going to pick at least these 2 heroes. Like, this is the set play. I don't care what they get. We're going to play our style of Dota. Yeah. And maybe that's where the Nature's Prophet sets the tone.
It's a good strategy for sure. And if they play it really well, it has so much like potential at pressuring other lanes and starting tower pushes. And it doesn't force you into necessarily having your cores be as good at doing that same thing. That said, who's playing the Nature's Prophet? I'm actually a little unsure. I guess maybe Fear. But I feel like, have we seen Sumail play Prophet yet? Because I feel like...
I haven't seen Sumail do. I remember the old Arteezy safe lane Nature's Prophets. That was a while ago.
I do not remember that either. But that's the thing, right? Like, it was always Universe. Yeah. Now that Universe is gone, Sumail has to play it, so maybe another reason it'll be interesting. They ban out the Drow Ranger as well. Not a hero we see super often, but definitely with Nature's Prophet is not super uncommon. helps them set tempo and kill buildings.
It's probably, yeah, it's that tempo, right? Like, it's Kuro saying, we need a little bit of time, Razor's not going to be ready to fight at the very, very beginning, so how do we deal with this? We don't want to draw a Ranger forcing the building straight up.
Razor's good enough, though, at early game stuff. Like, once he gets just, like, Treads, Drummer with a Wand Aquila, he's totally ready to party, more so than most carries. So, but either way, the danger of having a Prophet and a Drow, it's a lot of physical damage, and that's one place a Razor is squishy, is that if there's a lot of ranged physical damage that can stay away from Razor but still keep him kind of disabled, he's super vulnerable. Maybe not super, but he is vulnerable there.
Yeah. EG, like after they take out the Terror Blade, which is completely understandable. Thank you. Nothing.
We saw that game. Yeah.
We saw that game. You make it sound like it's an individual one. We saw all of those.
I mean,
games.
I'm talking about the match they played against Fnatic, where Miracle casted Sunder like 15 times in the last like 5 minutes.
How is that not nerfed? How?
I was a little surprised.
Escape
but, yeah.
They banned the Pugnet too, so yeah, Kuro is really concerned about just the overpush that can come from Evil Geniuses, but it doesn't really stop there. Like, if they want to, they can pick up a Luna, they can pick up a lot of, like the DK, a hero which we saw appear a little bit yesterday, but not as prominent as he was during the Katowice Major.
It's definitely a worry, and that's probably, I think the reason that Kuro is kind of, I won't say overreacting, but the reason he's going so heavily into these bans is because if you open Nature's Prophet as your 1-2 pick in response to being second pick, it definitely shows a plan.
Yeah.
And that means that Kuro's trying to get rid of all the heroes that are going to really facilitate this crazy push. Because if you win the laning stage and you have a crazy push lineup, the game just ends if the team executes it right.
See, that's the funny thing. Like, I remember back when TC was playing the Nature's Prophet in one position, it was more, I get the levels and I TP out, and then the safe lane support who's sitting there gets a lot of space for levels as well. But it's all about jumping around and kill. And that's where they always brought in the extra man. And it wasn't just like a level 2 Prophet that arrived. It was actually like a level 4, level 5 Prophet that was getting involved in these early engagements. And then they just start to snowball. They'd push the towers because you got like 1 point up in, or 2 points up in Treants, and it's enough to force a lane. But it wasn't, it's a different pace, right? Like, so it's not a push, it was a gank kind of thing, and you couldn't read which one it was going to be because it's the difference between the 1 and the 3 position Prophet.
It's true, but it still depends on other heroes being there. Because at this point, Prophet's gank, I would say, is all right.
Yeah.
It's still just one more right click, and unless it does have a huge level advantage, or unless he does have a really fast phase boots or something, it's not going to be the most impactful thing.
Maybe it is the push, it is the DK Luna maybe?
And they do end up going Dragonite, so very likely going to be mid-hero. I don't think they're going to want to do Dragonite versus the Razor, but it's still going to transition really well in the mid-game for sure. Give them disable setups, give them another tower hitter so it doesn't have to be Prophet. But really the benefit of Prophet TPing right now, you can help with those ganks, but it's really spawning Treants and just hitting buildings, basically. And that happens by level 2. So
yeah. So Team Liquid know that their mid matchup, like, yeah, you don't want to have the DK. Like, so are you expecting EG to throw something else there? Is Liquid going to look to change up their lanes as well? Like, how do you actually play against this? Like, do you still go with like this dual style lanes we've been seeing a lot of?
Yeah, probably. I think the Elder Titan kind of covers that, especially against Prophet. It's more creeps to sap damage, not sap damage, but gain damage from. So I think they need to make sure that the lane matchups are decent for them. That way the game doesn't get out of control. And if that happens, it'll be easier for Liquid to create pressure while not being pressured as hard. So lane control is a big deal. Bane is picked up now, and that should also solve some of those problems. It's another support that's decent against Nature's Prophet just because it's so good at trading. So any overpressure, like Nature's Prophet is a heavily offensive physical damage hero kind of in the lane. Yeah. And if you can't survive through that, you're going to have a bad time. But Bane is good movement speed, decent armor. You can steal some health with Brain Sap. It's a good place to be.
Oh, the Morphling has arrived once more. TC had a great time with it yesterday. We'll be looking to have a repeat performance today.
It's kind of cool. The fact that we now see 3 cores in a row picked by EG. Not really something we expected, and it's also something that will instantly show a different tempo in their team. That Morphling is the hero that will need some space to farm, but because of their Prophet, who can pressure lanes and will need enemy heroes to be against him, and Dragonite, who is difficult to kill, now they have like this vulnerability in the Morphling in the terms of lanes, but because the other lanes are dangerous, it's going to Liquid might not have the pressure availability to put on Morphling.
This does actually mean too, like, this has to be a smell Prophet, unless we're going to see like a 4 Prophet.
I assumed it would be, yeah, and maybe it could be a support, maybe, but
you
God,
can't, you
it
can't
really
jungle
shouldn't.
it right. Like you can't jungle Prophet, so it would have to be a full rotation.
The best thing you could do if it was a support Prophet is you get Treants level 1, you spawn them, and you just like right-click an offlane, and then you would transition to the jungle when that offlaner leaves. But like it's just probably it shouldn't work. It shouldn't work. It shouldn't work.
Like ever since the jungle got like completely utterly trashed, like.
Trashed is a strong word, but it was definitely changed.
When was the last time you saw a jungle Enigma or a jungle Nature's Prophet?
Well, that's because you can't do it until the 1 minute mark. You could still do it previously when the camps would spawn at 30, but it's like they give less experience in gold, and now they also spawn later.
You got to burn through so many consumables just to make it worth it.
I love the bat pick in this case because it does give them a strong laner who can lane potentially against Nature's Prophet and against Dragonite maybe as well. Assuming it's not the mid matchup. If it's mid, DK is going to be fine because it's not too far for him to get under tower, but in the other lanes, it would be a decent matchup for Liquid. So opens up some options here, gives them some gank potential, gives them some solution to killing Nature's Prophet if he's split pushing, and another good disable to shut down Morphling. So between like Elder Titan, Bane, Batrider, I think they have pretty good morph solutions right now. Not like amazing, they're not going to out-carry him, but they can definitely gank pressure and team fight against him.
Yeah. They've got a lot of options to work with. Like it's not going to be one of those drafts where we sit there saying, "Oh, we're being completely out-counted. Like, how the hell do we do this?" Like, it's not like that 5th pick Broodmother.
So EG's last support is going to have to be, I think, semi-strong in the early game. Something good at battling, kind of, because he's got to deal with like fighting Banes and Elder Titans.
A good roamer, basically, is what you're talking about.
Something with HP that can roam maybe. I mean, something like Earth Spirit potentially could work, actually. Yeah. If they want to do that. But I think I would prefer something that was a little tankier.
Well, they banned out the Keeper of the Light team Liquid, so they were thinking it could potentially be that. That would have been...
That would have been okay.
That would have been nice global.
They've
already got a decent amount of global anyway, just from Prophet.
Yeah, split push would have been good. My first thought for EG was Jakiro, but I'm not sold on that being the right pick.
It would let them force the buildings a lot harder. Team Liquid would have to have a hard time replying to that, because even getting kills would be very difficult.
Yeah.
Three insanely hard to kill heroes. And it's going to be a PL from Team Liquid, so that's going to be their one position now.
So probably something that has a disable on EG's side. Something like a Shadow Demon could maybe work. Maybe I'm crazy here. But
SD versus PL.
Hero's not necessarily very good right now, but...
You need to bring back like heroes like Lion, right? Like Lion.
Definitely not this game. This is not a Lion game. He's way too vulnerable to all the dive that Liquid has. But
all that extra money he gets now from his talent. What about Sand King?
Sand King looks pretty good to me. Yeah, they could initiate lane strong.
Isn't Abaddon?
Okay. Well, shit's weird now.
That's Samael Abaddon.
All right, it's Prophet support. Unless it's Morphling support.
I don't think
It shouldn't be Morphling support.
It shouldn't be. Fears on the Dragon Knight. Give us our last ones.
I mean, who's gonna?
It's
Arteezy's on
Morphling.
I mean, that's not. It's a 4 Prophet, I guess.
It's a 4 Prophet.
Got some weird stuff happening, guys. It's a Misery Nature's Prophet. It's a 5 Prophet. Is this real?
I guess so.
This is a real thing, unless they swap their roles. Like, it says Misery's playing Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, that's...
I mean...
That's what it says.
He is going to be able to trade hits really well with an Elder Titan and a Bane. And maybe if you put him in a support position, all of these failings of the hero are not going to be as extreme, because it doesn't matter, because he's a support anyways, right? Like, he can do his early game stuff. He can rotate, use his Treants to fight people, and then hopefully get some levels, and from there do split push stuff. And again, if he dies, he's a support. Maybe it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Hey, if he can keep Kuro permanently harassed on that bottom lane, if he can stop like Kuro from changing the lane equilibrium so Samel has a good lane in the off, then this makes sense. TP out, gank the mid. You never know when it's going to come. And even if he leeches the levels in the off lane, it's still going to work, right? Because you're going to get potentially a 1-1-1. Then you got Sprout to actually hold him in position to allow fight time. So...
Yeah, and he's going for it. It's Misery playing Nature's Prophet, guys. It's official here. Support Nature's Prophet. Well,
let's get into it. So EG Liquid, the one and only game to see if they will be able to advance in that upper bracket part, or will they drop down into elimination territory?
So another benefit of him being in this lane is that he can just pull the creep wave with the 2 Treants. So it basically guarantees that they're off lane. Whoever is laning here is going to get good experience. And he's got 62 frickin' base damage. That's insane. And he picks up an Aura Venom, so any harass he's doing. is 100% going to be valuable.
The smoked up trees are going to give a little bit of extra vision. It's Miracle and Kuro who already have the high ground. You know, take an entire wraparound from Evil Geniuses. Interesting that yeah, that ward does block. It's so deep inside the trees.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very difficult to find. And if they block that, that means that the supports can't pull, which means that the creep equilibrium is controllable by EG's side. So if they can keep pulling creep waves and messing that up, it guarantees them levels.
They're already changing the lanes up. So it's going to be a Morphling Rubik off lane. Into the mid will be Fear's DK that leaves Sumail on the bot lane of Batten. And then Misery just, well, he may stay up on top for the start, but he can just rotate down towards the bottom. But Team Liquid sending Matupperman to the bottom with GH. They're going to contest the bounty runes. This will actually give Team Liquid 3 out of the 4 bounty runes. So Miracle and Kuro up on top, and then Mind Control is actually the Bat Rider in mid. So you were kind of calling it before, saying, well, Bat versus DK is still going to be okay for the DK. But that is the matchup we get.
Did I say that? I don't remember.
You were talking about like it's like DK would have a decent time.
I don't remember if I said that, but maybe I did. So right now, I'm not super confident that Bat Rider will, or that DK will do amazing versus Bat. It'll probably be fine. I think because it's in the mid lane is what I said.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thought you were talking about the matchup wise. Yeah, in the mid lane it's not terrible because at least he can get under the tower rapidly. But it's not necessarily the best for him.
As long as Fear can survive, like he went no points in Dragon Blood at the beginning, he went Breathe Fire instead. And he's got 5 sticky napalm stacks on him. Make that 6. He needs a stick.
Yeah, he kind of seems like he lost the lane already to me a little bit here. He's got no Dragon Blood just yet. He does get the Breathe Fire out. And in the safe lane, the Treants have been trying to harass GH, but GH has 6 tangos and a Windlace, and he's kind of just beating
72 damage.
The hell out of Misery. And he's just going to die.
Go around the trees, man. Another Spirit down. Pull it back in. Get the movement speed. Under the tower. He'll need one more hit. The dive comes in. Meanwhile, it's Mind Control getting the first blood in mid lane. He'll lose his own life for it, but he'll be very happy with that trade-off while GH gets the kill on bottom.
Well, everything I said was wrong. It's not looking so good for Fear. They're getting killed, but and the same thing in the safe lane. The Elder Titan is just beating down Prophet. Like the issues here is that Prophet's way slower with the Windlace. He doesn't trade nearly well enough because Elder Titan hits so hard, and because he's so fast as well, he's just too fast that the Treants don't even do that much damage because he just runs away. So far, this dual lane is not working out so hot here.
It really isn't. Like, just that change-up. Kuro found that Observer Ward in the trees. He said it was hard to find, but he found it. Dropped his own sentry, which does not block the camp.
Probably some practice against certain teams, putting that ward down is why. So ends up finding the D ward. Everything's good. Unfortunately, the camp is now blocked still, so it's going to be a while until they are able to be successful with it.
Is it blocked? I think
it was blocked at the 2-minute mark is my point. So they got to wait a minute until they can start pulling again. Either way, it's going
GH is ready to go on mid. Spirits out into the stomp. Mind Control's already got 4 sticky napalm charges on Fear. It's so hard to run away from this, and GH has the bonus 33 damage, but Rubik and Misery, they both come in to join this fight. So Mind Control will fall. GH is on the run. Crit has already burnt everything he's got, but Morphling was considering rotating off, and no way. GH, he's got his TP up. He's going to put the Spirit out, then gets the TP before anything can happen.
He didn't have a stun anyway, so it was fine.
If
anything, Crit's slightly wasting his time.
Keep going.
Oh, it's just collecting damage.
Yeah, how much bonus damage do you get? It's going to go through 3 camps.
Oh man, watch out. He gets this. If he times this right, he's going to do a lot of damage down here.
I'm waiting to see like how much he actually gets. This Spirit has actually even stopped flying. It's back to walking. Plus 72 damage.
Incredible. It's okay. It'll run out. He could redo the trick actually. This is... he's not going to.
No. Not for now. Sumail's in the trees, however. Matupperman wants to keep fighting. He's already taken the damage away from Sumail. Sumail feeling a little bit more forced.
Is Bat Rider still dead, or did he just die again? I think he just died again, is what happened. Or Dragon Knight, that is. He just respawned, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't from the previous one. That's his 3rd death now.
Yeah.
Tough game.
Oh, boy.
The amount of HP that he lost in that first trade was really detrimental to him, and he also didn't get a salve rapidly enough, so he was kind of out of lane for a little bit. Like, Mind Control being 3, 2, and 0 is really good. Level 4 on him.
They're actually dominating. Like you're 4 minutes in, you hold the top 3 net worths easily. And
It's
if
still
Control's able
early,
to get
but-
this early Blink Dagger, like this is going to spell so much devastation for EG.
I agree, but they're also against an Abaddon who can remove the lasso potentially, and heroes like Morphling can get out of some dangerous situations. Like, they have some ways to avoid this issue, but we'll see.
Oh, Arteezy trying to have a crack here at Miracle. He's already used his waveform. Miracle has Doppelganger available, as well as the salve. He's trying to save both. They're going to come under the tower. There's multiples to choose from. And there's that salve arriving, using it just as he Doppelganged out, so no way for EG to cancel it.
I thought maybe Morphling would commit to that, but I think they're going to play it safe here. Any kind of overdive on Morphling is just really difficult to come back from since your hero's a little bit slow. So, doing the safe play here. Lane Ward's going to help them control whether or not they do kill Morphling in the future, but...
Just control him anyway, just by enfeebling. Arteezy can then have, like, basically no damage to farm with. This Morphling is so low on net worth. The ET currently has more net worth than Arteezy has. So Crit and Misery will try and do something about it. Catching Kuro inside the Sprout. They've still got Telekinesis plus the Fade Bolt, so that's a guaranteed kill onto Kuro. But the trade-off, Arteezy took so long, and then GH comes in with the perfect Spirit, with the bonus damage. They can't, yeah, they can actually kill Crit. Thought that TP was going to complete in time, but it does not.
That's tough for EG here. 2k deficit at this point is really huge, actually. But it's not super surprising. Like, Razor just constantly taking damage from Sumail in the bot lane. It's giving him a hard time. Oh, he did.
No.
Not
Sumail,
caught into the right place.
no borrowed time. Matumba needs a little bit more damage, but he won't dive onto the tower, even with the 9-1 charges.
Man, he doesn't even care. He even had a salve, so he's back to full again, and Sumail's forced to leave the lane. He's going to get some bounties at least, but... Man, EG's just getting really pressured here. The Elder Titan kind of just shut this whole thing down.
Mind Control's looking for another fight. He's in behind the tower. I don't think he just realized he's actually trapped between 3 different heroes. Firefly is still available, so Sprout from Misery will do nothing, but the physical damage will do more than everything. Oh, will it? Mind Control. He's on 7 HP with the 1 charge is keeping him alive. GH creates the space with the Stomp. And Evil Geniuses, 3 heroes. Mind Control was basically next to the tier 1 tower, and they still can't kill him with both supports there.
Yeah, that's Prophet, man. He's literally just countered by being a Bat Rider. Like, he right-clicked him a lot. His treants were hitting him a lot, but it doesn't kill the Bat Rider. Just stays alive.
He was so low, though. Like, he was so low. Like, if anyone from EG had a slightly better early start, they would have had enough damage to kill him.
But in the same vein, though, the fact that Prophet was there might have just been Bat Rider advantage.
DK. Stomp is down, just lets them reposition for the Firefly to get back on top of Fear. Nice Telekinesis grab, gonna throw him back. Kuro, the Brain Sap. It's not enough thanks to the 1 charges for DK. He had a little bit more life, but Mind Control, they just jump in deep. The Spirit's down once more. Misery as well as Crit both get hit by the Stomp. GH can move over with his plus 102 damage and the Flamebreaker Sticky Napalm. EG are just so sluggish every single time they try and turn and get a better position on Liquid.
And again, all they can do is right-click. Like, Rubik with Prophet, not exactly the highest control and the highest damage. The only way it works out is if Nature's Call with the treants is able to disable his opponents. But Bat Rider just walks over all of the treants. He doesn't get sprouted. So at that point, it's just a damage trade. And Prophet's damage is not going to be significant until he grabs a big item.
This timing seems interesting from Misery. Jumped up to the top lane to try and battle against Miracle. Again, they fight when Doppelganger is up. So he just puts down the Sprout and forces Miracle to break it with Doppelganger. But they do this when Arteezy just burned Waveform, so he wasn't ready to do any kind of damage. And that lane ward makes it impossible for Crit to surprise Miracle.
And DD's picked up now, so... Seems like every time Fear comes up the creep wave, he's forced to run back again. Very tough for him. At least EG is going to put some pressure on the top lane, though. Morphling is up here hitting buildings. They've got treants as well. 3 sets. 5.
Miracle's waiting. Here they go. Razor's going to TB in as well for this one. They focus on Crit to begin with. He's actually the only real stun they've gotten this. The Nightmares on Morphling. Kuro just preps the position. The Lancers will be dodged by the Waveform, but here's your Stomp from GH. They create more space. Start the Static Link. Arteezy, as you said before, once you've used the Waveform, it's impossible to really get away from this. EG just running them down. Even the Courier's in trouble. going under the tower for Liquid, but it makes it through. Misery can't grab it. He TP'd out looking for it, and Mind Control and GH will just work together. Misery stomped up, and then Mind Control will just burn him with his last fire attack. This is beyond a disaster right now for EG. 3-12 on the board. And Team Liquid just have all the cash.
Just feels a little bit like theory crafting gone too far to me right now. I think the Batrider kind of ruined a lot of stuff here for EG. I mean, maybe Liquid is anticipating this support Prophet thing, but either way, there's still benefits of picking Batrider versus the Nature's Prophet, and it kind of gave them this weird matchup thing.
Yep. And then the matchup in the mid, like Liquid being that dynamic that they're willing to say, you know what, we'll put Bat in the mid versus the DK, and then Fear going Breathe Fire on Dragon Blood. So we already started the battle at half-life when Mind Control wanted to initiate.
He did kind of need Breathe Fire. I think the tragic thing for EG was that the two first deaths were on Fear in his 1v1, and also on Misery getting killed.
Well, the lasso is out, pulling Fear back in. So many sticky napalm charges and nothing he can do about it.
Like, they just lost those 2 lanes right at the start. Like, it wasn't the end of the world, but if GH gets a fast boots, it's just this huge matchup advantage.
Misery starts his TP. That stomp is going to cancel in time. Buys more than enough space for Miracle to kill off the Prophet.
And Liquid just took this advantage from these lanes, and they're just snowballing from it. Like, Mind Control has 7 kills, while still also getting 50 last hits. It's incredible.
Hey, at least they can be happy that EG killed the first tower. Actually, no, I can't even claim that because Bane denied the bottom tier 1 tower. He nightmared up Samael and then just denied it. And speaking of which, no borrowed time. Now he's going to level it up, waiting as long as he possibly can. No support TPs. There's no one to help him out, so Mind Control just keeps blinking forward to keep the Firefly on top of the targets. Not to mention Matumam installed 224 damage. There was nothing Samael could do.
They're trying to push as fast as they can, and they can do some things, but just Liquid can rotate so much more efficiently right now. It only takes like 2 heroes for them to set up a kill.
Fiend's Grip, ET split up. Fiend's just like, sorry bro, you're dead.
Yep, not that much he can do in response, so. I mean, EG basically just has to scramble to try to get as much farm as possible. Like, but look at the farm on the core is like, Morphling's got 2,700 only. It's not looking good for EG here.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, if Arteezy can grab an item, maybe turn that into some kills in a bit, it could change the game around.
All right now he's looking just at the Perseverance. He's not thinking about anything bigger. Buy the smaller items if he possibly can. But Miracle's had such a great start, he's building directly into Diffuser Blade. Like, they're going to start burning off all the mana of Evil Geniuses, and there's going to be nothing in the tank to fight. And it's already a limited tank anyway. GH and Mind Control get hit by the Wrath of Nature. This will potentially reveal there was vision around.
It's going to be a big kill here if they can get Kuro.
Oh, yeah, if they can. That's the question mark. Pick them up. They do. 238 gold.
Pretty good steal, too. They got Brain Sap, so that should be probably level 3 at this point.
It is level 4, in fact.
Level 4, even better. One good advantage of being behind. So now he's got Fade Bolt and Brain Sap for damage. Talking 300 pure.
They're going to force mid. Samael's almost playing bait here, just running towards Matumam and Mind Control.
Absolutely. If they can get a disable off on one of these guys and follow it up with like damage from Rubik, they absolutely can get a kill. So this is a good moment for EG, actually. They just need to start turning crit into some kills. They pop a smoke to do so. And it'll be a Dragon Knight whose ultimate has about 20 seconds left. They have a small window here. It's going to be hard against Phantom Lancer, but if they can get this kill, it'd be huge.
They need crit to get the grab. So the smoke will break, and that means they know to curve to the left, but which one's the real one? They got to find the one moving away. Oh, I thought him for a moment he was going to illusion juke, but Arteezy, that's a big kill for Arteezy to get.
That was huge, huge kill.
That's actually his Perseverance.
That was a rare moment where you're like, wow, Miracle didn't do the perfect thing in the moment of tension. Normally, I'm like, Miracle, he's going to get out of any gank no matter what.
Illusion
but that
juke
time,
was it, right?
Yeah, that time it was, maybe that was the plan. He's like, I'm going to next level these idiots. And then they were just like, it's that one, duh.
I'll go for the obvious choice. I'm not going to next leveled.
Yeah, because honestly, if he runs the illusion and they lift the illusion, he lives. And they need both stuns to get that kill, most likely. So a big grab that also gives them the tier 1 tower, so EG's going to be pretty happy with that. Only 3k advantage for Liquid now.
Yeah. So Perseverance is there for Arteezy. Actually, he switched out, so he didn't buy the mana. He's actually going to go for BTs and try and play the global game a little bit more. Kuro, well, fresh Observer Ward down, crits in the neighborhood. Pick him up and throw him around. Arteezy and Crit just want to get out of this one with their lives. Don't let Liquid have the fight. Okay, Crit's going to sacrifice himself. I like how Matama just watches him a little bit longer to gain that bonus damage.
Yeah, a little bit more minus armor, and he'll be happy with that one. But he got to buy out at least before he went down, and keeping Arteezy alive is a big deal. And the item Arteezy's trying to finish with BOTs is just going to let him move around the map better and continue to split push, and hopefully by doing so, limits Liquid's ability to get things done.
The lasso's out. Arteezy, he just got this money. He was saving it for the BT, so lose a little bit of unreliable gold. Samel was actually looking to try and fight in the bottom lane. Can't get the fight because, well, Miracle's already out, so he's just going to farm up a stack.
It's pretty much the best he can do right now. We just have to buy more time. Looks like Misery's going to go Force Staff next.
Might want to leave the rest for Fear. Fear kind of, yeah. If he actually left the rest of that camp, Fear would have had the Blink Dagger.
He'll get it after maybe a camp or two. Yeah, they just respawn. He'll be okay. This is a smart item to pick up because it'll allow him to set tempo himself. He doesn't have treads just yet, but it's okay. He just needs to be the initiator. Then his teammates can follow up. Then they can get these important kills on farmed heroes.
Arteezy TP'd in towards the mid after Crit. Just played around with Matama, and he stole Plasma Field, so very easy to D-push with the waves. A little bit more difficult to avoid the gank coming from Liquid.
It's definitely one of the best things about Rubik is just grab like a basic skill that's leveled up all the way, and all of a sudden your hero feels like a level 12 hero or something like that. Two highly leveled skills, a nice amplifier from Nullfield, and he can definitely turn things over to his team's advantage here.
Aegis, turn to smoke. So Blink Dagger gank, they want a good target. Matamaman's going to be it. Dragon Tail, waveform forward, and Matamaman. Big streak to end. Crit will take the cash for it, but it's more importantly another push for Evil Geniuses. Forcing into the tower. GH tries to slow them down with a Spirit Stomp. And he goes for more. Samael in through the rear. You'll find GH. Fear will jump forward. They just go again with the breeze fire damage. GH will go. Yes, he will. Samael will find that kill. But thanks to our split cam, we watch both fights going on while Mind Control gets the double kill. Misery and Crit dying trying to protect that tier 1 tower on top.
EG does not care in the slightest about that. That was super worth it. I mean, they killed the streak, they killed the support, they got the enemy tier 1 tower, and all they lose is there's 2 supports. Nobody cares on EG.
More. Fear's coming up behind him. He's still got that ultimate for a while, so Kuro stops for a second. Samel breaks free with borrowed time, and he may just be able to kill Kuro by himself. The breathe fire. One charges from Kuro gave him a little bit more life. One attack from Samel should do the job. No, it won't. The brain's out. He'll need to do 2. And he'll get him in, but Matamaman and GH. Samel's gone in so deep for the kill on Kuro. Hilarious thing is...
Ooh, wait, nice deny.
Nice. So he gets the kill on Kuro worth almost 400 gold and denies himself in the trees.
Super worth it. And now EG's... they're still losing by 4k here, and PL is definitely a danger, especially with his Diffusal Blade picked up against heroes like Morphling, but I think EG's... they're definitely in striking distance here, and I think they can have a little sigh of relief with those last couple kills. Like the last 5 or 6 minutes, they're down 8 to 20, but farm-wise, it's not even that far apart considering what it was like at 5 minutes.
Yeah. They're starting to flatline the graphs as we're looking at right now. The issue is still just the size of Miracle. He is such a beast on that Phantom Lancer. 8.5k in the net worth. Everyone else is in reaching distance of each other. It's just that PL.
Just remember, Morphling is going to be PL later anyway, so
that is
let
true.
him get farmed. He's got his own.
Blink Lasso. And Crit's dead. Samael, or maybe not, shields him up, can't keep him alive totally, maybe with a throwback, no. Samael puts himself in jeopardy, they need more help here, Evil Genius, but they don't want to. Misery's pushing out the bottom lane, so Samael just needs to fight against all of the Miracles on bottom.
Nicely done, breaks his ultimate, so he's a little bit more vulnerable again. And Morphling is going to TP top to split push.
No. TP cancel.
That's so big.
Splitter's coming in as well. Waveform's available for Arteezy. He'll use it before Kuro can get the Fiend's Grip off. And thanks to that high movement speed from the Haste Rune, he's out and about. Misery will almost die up on top. He TP'd out on very, very low life. while Mind Control and Matama were hunting him. They go on to Fear on top lane, as Fear on the run. Sumail needs to give him the shield, and potentially they turn for the fight. Crit's in the neighborhood as well. He wants to pick up some earn charges, so he'll pick up Mind Control. Firefly's wearing out in just a second. Sumail, so low on life, needs the distance, but EG, they've got the numbers there. So on bottom lane, Arteezy will die to the gank from Liquid, but Mind Control still able to blink away. Fear needs to close the distance. In 2 seconds, it takes too long. They know where he is thanks to the creep wave, but they don't want to jump in too deep because the rest of Liquid have now brought support in. Hunting for that kill. Kuro, no Fiend's Grip, making Nightmare, positioning up Misery. They break free, but then the lasso blinking in. They've got the space. They isolate Misery. It's just an Aegis Prophet. Maybe with that force up, he's got the distance. No, Sumail can't shield him up enough. Matamaman, he won't have enough life either. Both Breathe Fire and the Mist Coil giving him that pop damage to bring down the Razor. And Kuro, body blocked up by Misery's trees, now enabling Sumail for that double kill. So this fight's going on for Team Liquid. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Miracle is taking the tier 2 tower, continuously gaining more and more space and distance in net worth.
Liquid's just doing a great job multitasking in multiple lanes. Like they committed to finding Arteezy. They knew that they canceled the TP, so he's probably hiding in trees, and they eventually find him. And at the meantime, on the other side of the map, they're perfectly fighting with multiple of their heroes. The only thing that went a little bad was obviously Matamaman getting picked off. And I think that comes a lot down to Sumail. He's perfectly reading these fights, constantly shielding the heroes to keep them alive, and allowing them to turn around with enough magic bursts. Like, it's very easy to underestimate how much damage like Aphotic Shield and Mist Coil do, but they have such low cooldowns that you can spam them very often to a team fight, and against a hero like Razor, who doesn't yet have a BKB, that's eventually going to be a kill. Either way, Liquid is still sitting in a nice advantage. They go about even in all those trades, but Miracle also takes the tier 2 tower bottom. So I think Liquid's going to be happy with how that last little group of things have gone. And if you look at the net worth of Morphling, he still hasn't gotten into some overpowering farm area yet.
I think he still needs to get the Lincoln Spear before he can feel confident enough to do anything. Like the BTs is allowing him to be involved in these engagements. And as long as EG have a small gang squad, they can get away with it with a creep wave behind him. Even a creep wave, you just have trees behind him.
I mean, honestly, I think the carry of this game is going to have to be a Abaddon. He's queuing up a Radiance already. I think it's the right move if they can get it.
They're going to give this a shot. Misery's in. Fear and Sumail are sitting around.
I mean, he can BOTs in.
Mind Control's fire flying over. Misery's just sitting inside the pit. Here comes the Spirit. Team Liquid, they already know.
I mean, if they want to teleport him into the Roche pit, they can under the Nature's Call Treants. So split push comes. Prophet's going to pressure top tier 2. That should force Liquid back a little bit.
Why do you think Misery's holding on to that Tome of Knowledge and not just like cracking the level 10?
I have no idea. Maybe waiting to give it to somebody else or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe he's the delivery service. Bottom lane, Team Liquid are taking a tier 3 tower. So tier 2 cleaned up by Misery up on the top, giving more money in as Morphling remains. But Sumail has to be that frontline shield. Matamaman starts the damage deal. But this is why Misery picked up that 4-staff nice and early. Able to break that link, and Liquid are coming back. The pressure up on top lane, they're not going to take the risk. Not when Morphling continues to show himself up there.
I mean, they got real close to killing this tier 3 though, so it's only a matter of time probably till Liquid snipes this, even if it only takes one hero for like a Blink Dagger, hit it a couple times. They might be able to do through backdoor, so not the best for EG. Needed to retreat a little bit faster there, slightly outmaneuvered.
I'm still thinking it's worth it. Like Arteezy was able to pick up the Ultimate Orb thanks to the money they picked up from top lane, so the Lincoln Sphere is rapidly approaching.
But the Lincolns doesn't necessarily...
Oh, Mind Control! They got the grab! No! The shield! Breaking it so quickly, Sumail.
It's on top of this.
Just at the right place at the right time. That nice counter to the Bat Rider.
Well, they still trade sentries at least, but...
Fear, blink, stun into Mind Control. They want to do enough damage. Here comes GH with a stomp, but waveform from Arteezy. It's Sumail who will find the last hit. That's a big streak to end. And throw more money into that Abaddon.
Definitely a big kill there. He didn't have Firefly, so there was very little chance he actually gets away once they initiate. Nice
They're
pick
still
up.
thinking about Roshan. The Spirit's there from GH. Fear just blinks forward. They're looking for their targets, and they found him as well. It's Kuro waveforming in. Sumail now unstoppable. Omnight Abaddon, he's 6-3-1. All this money going closer towards that Radiance. He's got the money for the Relic now. The Courier's making the trip. But they keep looking for the kills, almost using like a potential Roshan attempt as bait.
It's a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of teams that go for Roche and they kind of just throw a lot away. because they focus too much on how Roche is the advantage. But if you look at what EG's draft does, they're good at fighting, basically. Dragon Knight blinks in and stuns a guy, and then they all follow up with damage, whether that's Abaddon jumping in, or Morphling waveforming, or Prophet teleporting in. It's just, it's a really good strategy here. They know they can't take Roshan super well themselves. I mean, they have a medallion, I believe, so they have ways, but it's so much easier just to fight Liquid and try to find them when they're spread out. Because if you find Elder Titan by himself, or Batrider, or Bane, those heroes are all very vulnerable.
Interesting Misery's position. He's gonna... Okay, I don't know if he should have forced staff down just then. GH just goes directly into the stomp. Start the TP once again, but nope, mind control's there, and the ET splitter.
Every time this happens,
Misery was there for rewarding duty. That's why.
Every time this happens, I'm like, it's okay. It's just a support. Like that's what this looks like to me. Maybe it's just the Prophet support thing. By the time he's alive, he can instantly be somewhere else. It's so cool, actually. There's no, it like limits the negatives of your support getting picked off because tactically you can again be anywhere. It's really cool, actually, if you think about it. It's so much less costly, and all of his items that he picks up or manages to pick up are all going to be really integral, and it doesn't come with the vulnerability of like, oh, my most farmed hero is a Nature's Prophet, and if he dies, really bad things will happen.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Like, if your Abaddon dies, really bad things will probably happen.
Or Morphling, or Dragon Knight, like, oh, I lost Dragon Knight ulti, but now it's like, oh, whatever, I'm just a Prophet, dude. I've got low cooldown abilities. My longest cooldown is 37 seconds for Nature's Call. Well, that's not true. He's got his ulti, but... I don't know, it seems pretty effective so far.
I'm waiting for the Courier Snipe as well. This is where the aggressive Observe wards can actually come into play. Matumama wants to go onto Samael as well as crit, as he will run forward underneath the Shrine. Maybe not the greatest thing he wants to have a look at.
It's going to feel a little bad losing another drum charge, but staying alive, definitely a big thing, especially when you're this close to Radiance. Once he picks that up, the whole team fight is going to change. Like, it's a really good item against Phantom Lancer right now, actually. Because PL's HP is still not in a ridiculous area, so evasion, or at least mischance, and they'll be able to find the real one a little bit faster now.
Yep. I'm actually kind of surprised that Miracle changed that around. Like, you're talking about, like, his life isn't that great.
Are you talking about his item he's queuing up?
Yeah, because he had Heart queued up before.
This is kind of weird. Why did he buy the Silver Edge recipe first? I think it was an accident, maybe? Not sure. There's no reason to buy the recipe before you have your Shadow Blade, right? So.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, it's a cool item to pick up, actually. I kind of feel like...
Unless he felt he's going to die.
Yeah. Another hero I think that can kind of benefit from this is Morphling. Once he gets E-Blade, I think a Shadow Blade is a really good idea. Because the Silver Edge transition is also stat heavy, but for PL it's kind of the same thing, right? It turns your hero that's conventionally not a very good ganking hero. Adding a Shadow Blade to any hero gives you huge gank potential, especially when they have this many towers killed. You can kind of just move around, look for solo picks.
They're baiting Roshan again. The smoke is up as Mind Control takes to the skies. As there it is, I was waiting for it. The Courier Snipe.
Is that the first one? It was Misery, right?
Yeah, it was Misery.
Yeah.
He put down 2 Observer wards looking for it.
Gotcha.
And he's been watched, like he watched previously, but just had to find that right time to attack. This actually causes problems for Miracle, who's just about to reach the money to buy up his full Shadow Blade, and he can't get it out of base unless he goes home. So Liquid, they're going to go into the pit. The Observer Ward just got deep watered in front of it. Trade-off is happening by Misery pushing the tier 2 tower on bottom, so it's up to EG if they want to try and fight this.
They got the tower already. This Roche is still pretty high HP.
Dragon Tail stun in. They actually get the kill on the Kuro. Even Mind Control controlled up by the Rubik for half a second. They have a lot of problems, however, and that's all of the Phantom Lancers on the field and the strength of Matumama inside the BKB. Arteezy needs to back out again. He knew it. Samael up into the air, Roshan is still alive. Miracle actually gets collapsed by that, dropping insanely low, and they'll kill him. Samael miscoils down the PL. Fear's still in trouble. The buybacks are coming. This time it's going to be coming in from the Rubik. The adaptive strike from Arteezy, not enough damage to kill off Mind Control. They'll shrine up quickly, but not quick enough to save GH. Evil Geniuses not only getting back-to-back kills, but on bottom lane, the pressure being applied from Misery is making Liquid look behind him. They still want to contest Roshan. Mind Control back up into the air once more with a Firefly. Roshan is low, but not at the perfect time. Kuro is the man defending the bottom lane. Now they're low again. Roshan, 1,000. Matumama's waiting for the right time to strike.
They need to snipe this, but they don't have Firefly for like 18 seconds, so it's really hard actually for them to get in there easily.
Nature's Prophet's back. They can use the tree. She doesn't have tree into the moment, so they sprout for the extra vision. Crit watching him. He's actually got Echo Stomp, so there's the Aegis Immortal. The BKB once more used by Matubman. Crit will hide inside the pit. He ended up stealing Eye of the Storm of all things. They want to try and chase down Matubman when this BKB wears off. It's a little bit too difficult, however. So he will get away, and Mind Control just starts the creep skip.
I mean,
it's like Liquid are in damage control at the moment.
Absolutely. Like, they're in such a bad place because of the Prophet. Like, before that Rosh even started, Misery just goes bottom, uses his ultimate, starts pushing the tower. As the Rosh fight was about to start, he kills a tier 2, already a huge advantage. And then he just walks up and he does a bunch of damage to the tier 3. Like, they lost over half of the HP of their tier 3 on the bot lane. And EG still won the fight. Like, and all it cost them, I think, was like a Rubik buyback and a couple smart movements.
Yep, you had Rubik was the only hero to buy back during that entire fight. But it feels weird, right? Because Liquid were having their battle up on top while PL was pushing the bottom. This is what was happening like 10, 15 minutes ago. Yep. And it was EG who were being poked and prodded around the map. This time it was like EG saying, come and fight us around Roshan. This is going to be our pivot point that Liquid have to keep coming back to try and stop us from grabbing this Aegis of the Immortal and empowering the Morphling. And in return, we get the push from Misery on the bottom.
And the KDAs,
and then they win the fight as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting so much out of it. And even the KDAs don't look great on EG's side. Like, Fear's 2-6 and 11, that's not good. 1-7 and 11 on Rubik. The Prophet's 1-8 and 8. But they're playing their roles so well. Like, they're doing exactly what they need to do to win the game. Like, Fear doesn't even have items, really. Just has Blink, Treads, he's got an Ogre Club. He doesn't even have BKB yet, and we're 30 minutes into the game. But everybody is getting the value out of the hero that they need to on EG's side.
Yep. It's this E-Blade, man. Like, once this arrives, like, Kuro was barely surviving at the start of the fight. Now, he's 100% dead.
He was very out of position, though. I mean, he was on by their Ancients, basically. He got initiated on his support. That definitely did not help.
Silver Edge is now in the hands of Miracle. He is going to go back into that heart that he already had queued up before.
I think maybe he delayed this, worried about the Dragon Knight armor. Maybe he was feeling like he wouldn't be able to get Heart Regen against Radiance anyways, but it's been a while since he got a new item, and that definitely could have cost him. I mean, he went Ultimate Orb. Maybe he should have gone Shadow Blade first. That kind of feels like the right move, because at least then he would have had some utility there versus just the raw HP or stats. Surely a Shadow Blade is better than an Ultimate Orb, even if you're playing PL.
Yep. Well, either way, I have to live with the decisions now. PL is the only one who is ahead of the two cores of evil geniuses.
And he's changing his mind. He's
he's
thinking about a
BKB
BKB now.
Yeah.
Which he kind of needs as well, because if he gets E-Bladed or initiated on, a BKB is what's going to save him against all the Magic Burst. A Heart could, but it might not be enough. So now if he doesn't get Heart, though, his illusions just don't have that much health, and they may just die easily.
And if he also gets stun control, like I think that would be my biggest hero to watch in the start of the fights, is like, can Fear get that Dragon Tail stun onto Miracle? Because if he's able to do that, then the pop damage that will arrive from the Morphling will be too much. And the only save you'll have is, what, Nightmare, in a way?
Yeah. It could be enough, though. Or maybe Elder Titan disable. Well, they're trying to slow down the creep wave, but...
Last remaining out of tower from Team Liquid will now fall. Miracle is approaching the bottom lane. This tower has been sitting at 27 HP for the last 10-15 minutes, so Illusions will come in and they'll finally finish the... No! They will
They'll get
finally...
it. It's Illusions.
Any? Yeah, there we go.
It was only a matter of time. Illusions tickle towers, but that tower was vulnerable to tickles still. And Misery's going to go Meteor Hammer next.
Great.
That's a great idea.
Position, pick up Mind Control, thrown down the E-Blade, pop those,
nice
Nightmare! There's the same we were talking about there from Kuro with the ET Splitter. It's going to catch almost all of Evil Geniuses. The Fiend Grip as well, wasting the time of Fear, but the ET Splitter stolen by Crit and turned into Team Liquid, freeing the Dragon and freeing the Morphling. To pick up 2 kills, Prophet was a trade-off, but on bottom lane, the Rax is totally taken by Miracle. And he returns to the top lane to defend. So Team Liquid, they got straight through the bottom lane. The fight was not great. They walked uphill, had the smoke break, got initiated on. The save bought enough time, and Miracle capitalized.
I wonder, I'm not sure if Miracle made the right decision. It's hard to say, right? I feel like if he was in that fight, they might have been able to overpower EG despite the bad start with the instant bat lift. But at the same vein, trading a bad fight for Rax, super worth it.
Yeah.
So it's probably super worth it. I mean, they only lost, what, 2 heroes and Batrider, I believe, something like that.
So
They didn't even lose back.
It was GH and Kuro.
Super worth it.
Trade for Misery.
Super worth it, for sure.
Yeah.
So, what a back and forth game, man. I was pretty sure that EG had lost by 10 minutes. And then they squeezed back into this with the Blink Dagger on Dragonite and a couple good rotations. And everything is back and forth now. EG gets advantaged, and Liquid split pushes in a great way.
Yeah, I can see too why you debate like the Raxing on the bottom. Like we talk about the difference in network being so close. Team Liquid have the momentum on the bottom lane, but it's Misery's effect that he had previously. Always pushing out the lanes. He can keep that pressure on bottom and deal with the split push that Liquid is trying to push offer them. And then this allows Liquid time with the wave pushed out to go for a gank. So Mind Control into the Firefly. Evil Geniuses, they smoke up. They were underneath that dire observer ward, so Liquid know exactly what's going on.
And they're at a pretty good vantage point, too. They've got Hard on Razor with BKB, so he's very survivable.
Oh, Liquid,
here they
they're
go.
walking into it. That TP right on top of the shrine. EG, this is not where you wanted to be fighting this, especially with the ET splitter. Rips him out. Samael's borrowed time will give him time, but not much more than that. Fear's BKB is wearing off now, and this will open him up for Miracle. Samael's TP out will be successful. Fear, however, will stand its ground and die. Oh, wait, no, Samael. You can deny yourself once more, but his TP actually didn't work. 4 heroes lost for Evil Geniuses. The only thing that will slow down Liquid is the fact that Misery is pushing bottom.
Just perfect teamfight start. I didn't see who actually got lassoed, but if E-Blade goes on Batrider and he's able to Yule Scepter himself before he gets picked off, absolutely worth it. Because he gets full lasso duration. That's the burst that Morphling wanted to start with. And then everybody just gets cleaned up by Earth Splitter and BKBs, basically. Between the PL and the Razor, that was just, they just did whatever they wanted for the first 10 seconds of that fight.
Yep. Hopefully we can go back and have a look at the fight after we see what happens with the defense. Matubman and Miracle will go in. TK does not want to buy back just yet. So here's your replay right now. So the last two was onto the Rubik. And then GH's position was just right on the money.
It was a good move. I mean, that's the one hero that was going to be able to easily disable the Batrider, other than the Dragonite. But it's either him or DK stun. That's it for disables. And now Liquid wins a huge team fight by being coordinated and a good initiation with their smoke. And now EG's down 2 racks.
Yep. And Liquid are going to finally start taking care of these shrines on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really bad for EG now. Because this push advantage that they had was great. But after getting that first racks, it made the split push even harder. And now losing that fight convincingly, now they're at a big disadvantage. Should be a lot easier for Liquid to control the map now.
Interesting ping coming out from Misery. Like, he drew a line and basically drew it over the Dire's bottom shrine. So I don't know if this is EG saying, like, push out here and then we fight around and then we just try and get a counter racks. So Misery can do a lot of the push. GH, now Mind Control, jumps in, grabs the Invis rune. That'll actually dodge the E-Blade attack. Don't know if GH will be so lucky the 4-staff doesn't get him out of the pit. The ET splitter will catch a couple of heroes, but here comes Misery. Sprout up, Kuro protects himself with the Glimmer Cape, and they actually got that detection. As Kuro, Shiva's Guard will slow him down, clipping Mind Control. They do not want to lose Mind Control. He's got the Gem of True Sight on him. But Roshan will spawn in 33 seconds. Just enough time for Liquid to respawn.
Well, that's good for them. Finally got a catch there. Gem transferring over to Razor here. He's going to go for a Butterfly afterwards. That will give him some advantage in these team fights. Like, he's essentially going to be invulnerable as Razor once his BKBs pop. So I think the initiation is huge here. If EG can get a vision advantage, which they have no wards right now.
They can't.
Partially a gem problem, but
it's the gem of Mind Control. You just can't do it.
If they can initiate first, though, this could be really big, especially if the BKBs on EG are used at the right time. Or I guess the BKB on Dragonite, I guess. Sumail does finish his AC, or Shiva's Guard as well, so everything just gets better and better against PO illusions.
Oh, EG, they're pushing the top as well as the middle lane. This has bought them enough space. Roshan has just spawned up, so they can go and kill him off. In the meantime, Miracle is waiting on the bottom lane for somebody to come to defend. Oh, hello! Misery
nope, no
starts with the meteor. He does not survive this. Buyback is available, but Roshan, he's dying so quickly. Down at 3.8k and Arteezy just got himself a double damage rune as well. He's opened up the inventory slots. So both Aegis and Cheese will go into Samael's hands, now belong to Evil Geniuses.
A little tough for Misery, of course, but ultimately way worth it for the Aegis. They'll transition Morphling into Shiva's Guard, and this is actually where the BKB heroes on the enemy team are going to have to be a little limited, and that he can chase them down. So not a terrible place for EG. They're gaining some ground, losing some footage, but
that Curry get back safely underneath the Dire Observer ward, holding that Skadi for Morphling.
There's actually so many wards around this base. Good luck ward and everything. But
Arteezy really wants this. It was like the last couple of seconds of the double damage rune. He was hoping that Liquid would oblige with a fight.
That would have been nice. The one hero that double damage truly means double damage.
Well, Misery is back alive. He'll defend the bottom lane. Mid is preparing for engagement. Miracle. Shadowblade running in very, very close, and he starts up, hits hard, the lasso's on the DK. The Tumman can't attack just yet. The BKB is still now up for him, so he can stand his ground, stealing so much damage with the waveform. Arteezy starting to do work. Fear, however, being chased down. The priority target #1 for Team Liquid.
Ooh, that
now
damage.
they turn their attention to Sumail. Cheese will have to be triggered. The Miracle still does so much more. Arteezy, man, double kill. I was trying to work out which Razor is which, as Arteezy just turned into him and turns into the bigger man of the fight. But no more mana left to fight. He can't attack into the Ghost of the target. Sumail wants to help out with the Shiva Scarf mind control. Slowed up so much. Arteezy, can he find a good target? He needs to find the real Miracle, but Miracle back into the Silver Edge Invis. So he'll survive. Misery, he found the target. The Orchid, his own mind control. Mind control will pop. The Gem of True Sight will be lost. So Misery can claim this one. Arteezy never even had the Aegis Immortal pop.
He definitely ran out of mana, though. The PL illusions were a bit of a problem, but he's at the stage now where he just does a huge amount of physical damage. And Liquid can't really slow that down, not until Razor finishes his Butterfly. But going for the hard builds with BKB, with the Yasha, I mean, Razor's net worth is not incredible just because they've been moving around fighting so much. So he doesn't quite have the ability to fight against Morph yet. And by the time he does finish the Butterfly, I guess Morphling will be going BKB, so he won't have an MKB solution necessarily. But Razor is having some survivability problems now.
I'm wondering too if he changes his item build. Because Arteezy hasn't spent any of that money yet. And he's still got 2 item slots to fill up. Yeah, he's got the Aegis in 1, but Aquila and Aegis can go.
I kind of feel like he does have to get a BKB this game. Just because disables, mana burn, all of those things are limiting him from getting all these kills.
They're going to try and fight up on top. Razor jumps in towards the shrine, so you can probably say goodbye to your Nature's Prophet, but it's just Nature's Prophet. Sumail stands his ground against Matumamum. Doesn't actually have the static link doing any more of a work. The ET splitter not being used. GH actually so low. Here comes Arteezy. Yulsep has to keep the defense up. There's the adaptive strike link for the kill on GH. Still, it doesn't stop him. Arteezy turns into the Razor. Looks to fight more. You can lasso and control him. This will buy time for Miracle to create more of himself. And Sumail so low on the mana. Finally, mind control will finally go down. But Miracle just doesn't believe he can stand his ground and fight.
He definitely can. Morphling stole 175 here. He's got to be careful.
Sumail, you got to keep bouncing around. Here comes your waveform, back in again. Miracle into Invis. He was underneath the Sentry Wall, but it still wasn't enough damage to finish him off. The Gem of True Sight will be regathered by Team Liquid's Courier.
That's really nice play by Miracle there to re-engage. Tricks him finally, and the Silver Edge really paying off as he gets low. I mean, who needs a heart when you can just go Invis and run away at max movement speed? Definitely paid off there. And he's about to finish a Scotty of his own. It's like the danger damage PL. He actually skips the crit perk as well. Goes for the doppelganger cooldown reduction. It's a 3-second. Means 33% of the time you can spend invulnerable in the illusion ether or whatever. Whatever you want to call it.
So how do you
stuns?
Yeah, like how do you control him?
Get him low enough that you know you can better just AoE the whole group. I mean, Dragonite is very beneficial. He got the Breathe Fire damage perk, so you can reduce his damage by 50% with a Breathe Fire, but he can also doppelgang that off. Like, it's a tough situation. And having a gem is certainly a big advantage as well, because then, as long as he goes invis, you know which one's real. In some ways, it's kind of a tell, but losing another gem like this, it's going to add up a lot in the long term here. Like Crit, he's queuing up a Ghost Scepter now, but he needed that like a fight or two ago.
Let's have another quick look at that fight once more. So Sumail was the frontline target. The Stomp really kept him in position, but it took so much damage early on.
Yeah, really nicely done by Crit there to do a big nuke. And Arteezy tried to pick him up.
The Smelika's bottom lane initiation's there. Crit will create a little bit of space with a pickup throw down to Sumail, who needs the extra life. thank you very much for all the damage into him there. But then again, maybe not for the reposition. Kuro is just fiends gripping down Sumail. Buyback is available, and he may have to use it because Miracle goes in deep. But Arteezy, he ends up popping Matoman so quickly, looking to fight harder. The Nightmare is on mind control. So is the Orchid. He'll go invis thanks to the Glimmer Cape. GH, the Spirit Stomp, doing some work. But Arteezy, he actually changes now in towards the Bane. Whatever he can be, down towards mind control. Hold him in position. Brains have found the damage. Miracle is creep skipping, trying to force EG to turn around and come home to defend their base. And he's going to do exactly that. So that's two huge heroes down for Liquid who do not have buyback.
Yeah, Razor just gets bursted too rapidly. Once this BKB ends, it only lasts for 5 seconds. He's super vulnerable. And Morphling has so much agility, he's dealing like 800 magic damage with Adaptive Strike alone. So, very dangerous moment here for some of the Liquid cores if the fights go on too long. On the bright side, it's still really easy to kill Rubik. That's a pretty nice advantage to have. Pretty much any time they look at him, he dies.
Okay. Just rub salt in the support wounds.
It's tough, man. This is like the reason that you buy defensive items on supports is because like the kills just add up. It's like a Midas for the enemy team. He's got a 4-staff, but it's not enough.
But if it wasn't for crit too, like if crit didn't delay them with that telekinesis grab, like it would have been way too okay. Sorry, crit.
He's playing very well, honestly, but if you get behind like this, if they weren't behind at the start of the game, yeah, he'd probably be able to transition to a survivable item faster, but he's got to do his job, and unfortunately for him, Miracle is smart and farms in the right places and gets these easy kills sometimes.
Sumail's out so far once more. He's actually going to go in for the Scythe of Vice.
It's a good choice. They need a little bit more lockdown, and being able to stun somebody before they get their BKB off is huge. Being able to get another disable to follow up on Dragonite stun is huge, because, again, Rubik's going to die first, so there won't be a reliable telekinesis into Dragonite stun every time. And even Dragonite's falling off in terms of a core. He's going for a Halberd here. I think it's a pretty good choice. Evasion against the PL illusions, but we got to clear that one time.
Yeah. It, for some reason, was going directly to the secret shop, so that wasn't exactly what they were looking for. But up on top lane, Nature's Prophet, he started creep skipping. So the illusions can grab the creep wave up on top, but this is now going to be that effect, and like Liquid will know this all too well. This is what happens when Mind Control plays the Nature's Prophet. And Misery, he'll do exactly the same type of thing. Just keep pushing down to the lane, split push it out. Yeah, his treants don't survive that long, that's the downside, but he can just keep the push going by just media hammering, TPing in. At least relieve the pressure without having to commit Arteezy into a position where he can get ganked.
He's playing this very, very safe now because he knows that Miracle can basically right-click him from far away and just press Silver Edge and come in like a bat out of hell getting a kill.
Observers and sentries are down. There's no double damage on the top. It's going to be an Arcane Rune. They give that to Sumail. What's the Roshan spawn timer? So 1.5 minutes-ish for Roshan to spawn.
So EG definitely going to look for a kill right now. Be a nice pick-off, and that's why Liquid is also grouped around his 5. They can't be as flexible on the map, but at least PL can TP back and show up with his team. He's currently 7 slotted.
Both teams have observers and sentries down. They're out of range of each other. Kuro does have that extra sentry ward available, but it's a wraparound. EG up on the Dire high ground. If they go down, now they're visible to the Dire Observer and Sentry Ward, so Liquid have all the information. EG currently do not, but bottom lane, you got Misery doing it again. It's that little split push out. Miracle jumps in, he gets the BKB off. The lasso, it's onto the DK. Have they got enough control? Maybe they do, but Tolman standing its ground. Fear is dropping down low, but Arteezy is still a huge beast. He'll kill off Kuro. He wants a core, however, but he'll only be able to get the supports. Misery will finally join the fight. They'll Yule's up. GH will go down. So the two cores are fighting in opposite directions. It's Miracle who doesn't have the life to survive. Sumail was able to fight toe-to-toe with the Phantom Lancer. And now they're 15 seconds away from Roshan spawn time. Still hunting kills on the north, but trouble at home. The tier 4 towers, they're under siege. Sumail must come back.
With Sumail's items, it's a little bit hard for him to pick off the Abaddon, and the initiation was a little slow going on Miracle there, so it made the fight kind of hard for EG in that. The Dragonite was the one focused, but he was able to stay alive long enough. Morphling focused on the heroes he's good at killing, which is supports, and then Sumail was able to keep Miracle busy. And because he has no heart, at some point Miracle and his illusions are going to run out of health, and he's forced to disengage. So that fight was pretty much perfectly played by EG considering the bad circumstances.
This is huge for Liquid. So even though the fight wasn't really great for them, you still have Evil Geniuses not able to contest the Roshan pit. And this is Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard all coming out. So Aegis into the hands of the Razor, Cheese into the Bat Rider. And where did that Refresher Shard end up? It's actually on the Courier, coming home. So we have a quick look at that fight once more.
They spot a Miracle.
It really got messy. Everyone was standing on top of each other.
Yeah, it seemed basically like Liquid is having a little bit of trouble overpowering heroes now, damage-wise. Matumba Man was forced to retreat. Miracle lost quite a bit of health at the start. He's able to pick off the support. But in the meantime, the rest of the EG heroes are killing their own supports.
We can come back live. Arteezy's in trouble. He needs to get out of here. Lincoln's Fear triggers instantly and into the Fiend's grip. Gemma Trueside is lost.
Huge kill.
Your Morphling is down. They probably expected Misery to be the one to die. He was creep skipping a little bit further north.
They basically spotted him with the Invis from PL, and Kuro was able to approach with the Glimmer Cape and get the grip. And that means no Strength Morph, which means a dead Morphling. So big pick off there for Liquid.
Yep. Especially
on the back of an Aegis, this has got to be bad for EG.
They have his buyback, but if EG get pressured inside the base, they're probably going to need that. Like, they had to commit the DK buyback last time they repelled Liquid in the fights. So this time it'll have to be the Morphling, unless EG can buy time. But Liquid aren't waiting. Mind Control into Firefly, they're looking for a target, and they're coming for that top lane of Rags. This will be a forced out buyback. Even an Aghanim Scepter for the Razor. They put the Refresher Shard in him, so you're going to have the double ulti. This is going to be so huge for Matumbaman. They just have to get him the confidence to push into the high ground, so here he comes. First Eye of the Storm is up. Still no buyback from the Morphling. There's your Refresher Shard, so second ulti has been committed. That tower fortification will protect it for the moment. Samel wants to run forward. The Aphotic Shield is there with the extra buff up. Razor, they're throwing him around. The stun's out. Matumba's BKB will let him stand. Here's your buyback. Morphling comes into the fight. Where's your first target? Miracle so low. Mind Control jumps in deep too. The two cores of Liquid, they're so low. Razor saved for the half a second, but maybe not long. Fear has the high ground. Miracle has a doppelganger himself a little bit further away. They're on his tail. The land's forward. He just keeps doppelgangering away. They don't know the real one. Fear's chasing nothing but an illusion. He'll jump down further, and the storm from GH. Such space created, but Crit out of range of it. Gets the grab on Matumban, who'll have to burn the cheese. The chase is still on. The waveform, Arteezy and Fear combining together to kill off Matumban. Misery was in the neighborhood as well, looking for GH. He does not find him. The rest of Liquid have managed to retreat. EG hold their top racks.
They were so close to getting more in that fight. Miracle just barely got away, and it cost them at least one other kill going for that one. So it takes a very long time for EG to get some of these.
Misery. Well, as you said, Purge, is just a profit.
I don't know about this time. I mean, that's 80 seconds. They've only lost their tier 3 tower. It keeps getting a little bit harder for EG here.
Here's that push again. So Samel tries to gain their attention. And the grip once again from Crit starts everything. Yeah,
the Fear stun came a little bit too late there for them to be able to get the kill on the Razor in an easy way, so they're forced to actually overextend slightly to try to get this kill. And Miracle's BKB here, he's very low the whole time. They are able to keep Arteezy alive, he loses all of his health, but it was only the Razor health. Tries to get the Miracle kill, but the low cooldown Doppelganger gets him out of there. He tricks Fear, they go for the illusion instead, and yeah, Miracle's going to make it out of that fight.
Really thought that fight was going to be so much more swayed the way of Team Liquid. Like you had Razor, fresh Aghanims with the Refresher was his first reveal too. You had Aegis, you had Cheese. All three were burnt, and what Liquid were capable of achieving was the buyback from the Morphling, which they're going to get anyway because of the early pickoff, and a tier 3 tower. Yeah, like this is the position you're in. Like EG, even if they lose this top lane of Rags and are up against Megas, they're still capable of defending and taking the fights.
It's still a really hard thing to do though, because you have to be high ground. You're in an out of position location, and if they can chain stun you, and then you have to run back, and they don't even necessarily have the best. Like I feel like EG has in a lot of ways better late game right now. Yep. Yes, they have Lasso and Elder Titan, but they're also up against an Abaddon who has pretty much a guaranteed Aegis, is kind of what his ultimate feels like right now.
Yep.
And they're up against a Morphling who's a far better late game carry. So they are definitely fighting a little bit uphill, but they're still gaining a little ground every fight.
There's a Bloodthorn over on Miracle. He's itching for a target. The boots are in the backpack. There's this all fight mode. He walks straight past Samel. He doesn't want him. Sentry Ward's going down now for Crit. All across the top lane. They want to see the second anyone from Liquid gets close, and look, Samel's confidence. He runs forward to clean the wave up because Misery's doing it again. He's getting in behind the lines. They want to clean up the wave. Add the pressure into the base.
It's working out a little bit. I mean, Liquid's not going to be able to go high ground until 2 waves from now, but this is definitely accomplishing more than enough.
Yep. That's why Miracle's bouncing around through the mid and the bottom. Like, his illusions are everywhere, keeping these lanes pressured in. He knows if that creep wave can hit the base, they're not going to have that same mistake that was made, I want to say, against Fnatic.
They just need this opportunity to get a kill. If they can find a hero that's out of position and score that kill, it'd be huge. They've got the Hex on Abaddon. Arteezy still has tons of damage. He's gone for 2 waveform charges over the multi-shot adaptive strike. I think it's a good choice this game. Mobility is the bigger issue.
They're coming in through the bottom. A refresher orb for ET. All right, sure. It's going to take a while to fly out, and the Couriers is not here for the fight. Blink. Lasso, he was just out of range mind control to grab Fear.
Refresher's kind of interesting. I don't even think he has enough mana to cast Earth Splitter twice. It's like 400, 375 to refresh. 2 Earth Splitters is like 450 alone.
Crunch the numbers hard, man.
I don't think he's going to have enough mana. It's a cool idea, but he might need like a energy booster or something to make this worthwhile. If you can do a sleep and a double ulti, that's technically a one-shot. And if you can be in melee range, get both your auras, have maybe like an AC on your team, yeah, that one-shots entire team. So hypothetically, this can work out.
Razor finally showed himself up on top. Matomban doesn't have BTs, so he can't just run back to this fight. So he's committed to pushing that top lane all the way through. EG understand this, so they 5-man smoke up. They're looking for a kill. They don't really want to go on to Miracle. They want a better target. And Kuro, as well as Mind Control. There's a close one's Fear. He gets the stun off the pick up over on Kuro. Drag him back. The control, the pop damage is there. So Kuro will fall on Mind Control. That damage is huge on him. To the ET, he refresher orbs. The splitter was twice, but Arteezy already has the double kill. So the refresher orb gets committed, but really it did nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the moment to use it, because he has to use it in an offensive potential where he can actually walk into close range to get his aura amplifying the damage. But that was more of like a defensive run away before this goes bad, and I think he overestimated how strong that would be. So EG finally gets a grab. Does get 2 heroes at least. The Batrider probably needed to try to escape there, but ultimately EG wins the fight.
We start the Roshan clock again. Potentially EG can push and force some level of a buyback. Like, their issue is Miracle on top, but so actually, yeah, they can't do jack. Even if Misery they need more than Misery to defend this top lane. So Sumail retreats, and Roshan could spawn in 10 seconds.
I mean, maybe they can sit around and get lucky with the DD on the top rune. I mean, that's one way.
That would be the dream. Like, what, Roshan spawns instantly, and then it's like, he's a minute 30. So again, it's roughly the same counter as before. It's a double damage on bottom.
Well, at the least, Morphling can sit on the map and look for some kills. I think it's okay for him to be a little bit aggressive like this.
That's 620. All right, yeah, sure, why not?
That's pretty good damage.
He's still short of the timer for buyback, but almost everyone from Evil Geniuses has their buyback now. Rupert gets short by 800, and Arteezy's only short by time. And that's a minute and a half, which is Roshan time.
It's not too bad. Yeah, it'll be... Give him just enough time to look for some kills. As long as EG doesn't take a fight before that, they should be pretty confident right now.
Miracle switches item build again. I mean, he's actually put the Silver Edge into his backpack, triggers it, and then picks up the Nullifier. This
is tough for him. Like, he feels like he has to find a way to be able to win the game, but Peel's not a very good ultra late game hero. Unless you can overwhelm your opponents with the heavy illusions, but the damage is always going to be a bit weak, especially when you go this doppelganger cooldown.
Debating with Miracle. They ping, they know the right one. They want a better target, so the Firefly's up from Mind Control. He'll cut across the wave, looking for an extra target. Matomban picked up, dropped down, that double damage. Arteezy just turns into the Razor, starts dealing even more damage. Fear as well. They want Matomban dead. The lasso from Mind Control. Control is great! There goes your Morphling, there goes your big hero. It's up to Sumail as well as Fear to hold the lines against Miracle and the rest of the squad. Miracle losing life again so quickly, and Fear would up. This damage just really is that unimpressive. We all stop for a second as GH put everyone to sleep, then they come back to the fight. The charge forward, they need that damage, the breathe fire. Doppelganger will help dodge it for Miracle. Matomban not so lucky. That Wrath of Nature continues to bounce through. Abaddon put to sleep. They're back towards the shrine. Liquid regenerating up quickly. Fear gone a little bit too far into this one. Miracle so low, 127 HP. The Glimmer Cape to keep him alive. Samael is in real deep as well. He wants to fight. Up and towards the end, they've nightmared him once again, but Crit bouncing around everywhere, keeping the control going. The buybacks are coming in. They want the PL back on the front lines. He's not TPing out of the shrine, however. They're actually defending their top lane because the tier 3 tower was attacked. The bottom melee racks was brought down.
That
I kind of want to watch this
so
in,
close.
in a 3-split cam if PGL production could do 3-way on this.
Man, it was such a close fight. I mean, EG, Morphling transformed right back into himself right as he got disabled. And that, so he wasn't able to morph in time. And he didn't, he had BKB already used as the Razor. He stole this damage, but he goes down, didn't have buyback, and somehow they're able to catch up and kill Miracle. That's all about Crit right there. But it looked really scary. If all of Liquid got away out of that fight while being able to force a buyback on Morphling, it would have been really bad for EG.
Yep.
But maybe they can still take Roche advantage due to the double racks. At least they can kill their opponent's shrines, but I don't even think the shrines matter that much anymore. It's all about the fight.
EG's coming for Roshan. After that buyback was committed from Morphling later on, like just to get the lanes back in control, like this has to be EG's. Another refresher shard available. Batrider hovering around in the Firefly. This is why you see Misery now in the bottom lane. He's adding pressure because if he can keep this bottom lane pushing in, he can even backdoor through the top lane. He just needs that creep wave to go in. Crit, another grab. He got the top of it. The chain stuns, they got him low and they brought him down. Buybacks maybe going to be committed. That BKB from Fear is so quick. They're going into Roshan. Now Liquid, the hard choice. Do they contest? The buyback is there from Razor. They have to come thick and fast. The Dragon Form is up. They want to come and fight. They jump in. ET evaporates into air. They even kill the creep. He can't beat in the front line. It's going to take long for Liquid to get the reinforcements in. The damage is high. PL is controlled at the moment. It was Crit who stopped the Fiend's grip. That hold there, the ET splitters. It's a nice double up. And that's why Morphling is down. Samael's in trouble, but he's doing so much damage in return. Fear can stand his ground, but Samael, no, the borrowed time. Not enough time. They can send Fear into the air. Now Matolman, they need to kill off this Dragon Knight. He's the last big core. Samael wants to try and help. Meanwhile, up on top, the Brax is being done. The space is created by GH, who gets the stomp off, allowing Matolman to start the retreat. So the buyback is still available from Nature's Prophet. He added enough pressure. The bottom range racks went down. The top tier 3 is gone. Liquid continue to look behind themselves while Roshan is still the primary target #1 for both sides. With no Morphling alive.
Man, GH has just been turning all of these fights amazingly. Like, it's easy for Morphling to jump in and feel confident. The way that EG approached that was amazing. Buyback comes, they know that Liquid's coming. They instead leave the Roche pit, instantly get a kill. Then they feel overly confident, but then Morphling's standing next to ET and he gets like 2-shot or something. Instantly dies. And then EG's on the back foot again.
There's only one hero on this map right now who has buyback, and that's the Batrider. PL in through the top lane. Samal is there to do the defense. That pop damage really hurts. Miracle down to a third. Miracle down to nothing. They've got him down 2 minutes without buyback. Matolman's TP out of the cover. BKB won't work. He dies.
Okay.
Both heroes gone for 2 minutes. Team Liquid. Trouble at home.
Well, now they can do whatever they want, I guess. Morphling's up in 20 seconds. Prophet can teleport anywhere, and now this game looks even.
They should know this as well. Both of the buybacks are on cooldown because of time. So EG will understand the fact it's not money. They cannot be alive anymore.
It's
the
90
time
seconds.
Is just so long.
They can push a Rax. They can take Roshan, but they're going to go for the push. It makes perfect sense. Teleport in the Morphling with Boots of Travel. If they can get a 2-Rax here, the game will be completely even, and they've still got 80 seconds. If they can get a hero pick off or something like that, the game could be over.
Mind control's going to attempt it. He's got refresher off the jump in the lasso. He's trying to control Samel. There's your secondary lasso. The ET split are defensive. It doesn't really help much at all. You've lost too many. 4 heroes down.
They did it.
And GG, well played. Liquid seem to have the absolute dream start against evil geniuses, but they fall in 62 minutes and 29 seconds.
What a game, man. So back and forth, so many close fights, and It just felt like Miracle couldn't close it out in the end.
Oh, it gets hot in the EG
Oh,
labs.
damn.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, yep. Well, more fans created from EG, both for the after show as well as the main show.
They've got to be so happy, man. It worked out. Nature's Prophet support, it looked really good for the first 10 seconds. Then it looked really bad for like 8 minutes.
Yep.
And then as the game continued, it seemed useful and useful and useful. The hero pairings were good. They were playing from behind in almost all of their roles, but they made their heroes work. And Morphling was able to carry the game in the late game. Like the ability to just blow somebody up at the start, whether it's a Razor or a support, is such a big advantage. And EG is making Morphling look like a top-tier carry. Yeah,
I'm definitely seeing that Morphling appearing in the second banning phase against Evil Geniuses a lot more, and potentially other teams will start to bring him into the meta. But I just love the way that EG did it. Like this for me, I think is the bigger test. Like we could have the question marks like, is EG functioning as a squad? You were under such pressure. Like Liquid were killing you time and time again. Every lane was getting shut down. The Morphling wasn't getting the space he needed. And then they just worked it out. The Prophet pickup, you're like, man, is this really good? Misery made so much space in that mid game, even the early game with his rotations, working with the DK, working with everyone else. Like, I know we're going to have this question start to debate up right now, but who do you actually think was the biggest influence? Who do we actually start to flag as MVP?
I think it's easily Sumail this game.
You actually throw it on Sumail?
Maybe you'd put it on RTZ, but I think like Sumail was the consistent rock this whole game. That was why their mid game fights went okay. He was, I think it's possible he was the highest damage dealer. I'll take a look at the stats, but
he did 65,000 damage. He beat Arteezy. Arteezy was at 49,000.
Yeah, like Sumail, in my opinion, definitely the MVP in that game. But yeah, stat-wise, 11, 6, and 28. He almost never died. The one time he bought back, I was like, oh wow, it's been a while since Sumail has actually been killed here. Constantly dealing damage, constantly dealing AoE damage. He was the reason that Phantom Lancer didn't get completely out of control. Like if he would have had a worse game and his Radiance would have been delayed, I feel like Liquid could have definitely closed that game out at maybe around 40 minutes or something like that. But he held them together. He allowed Arteezy to get to this like late game potential. He was like the only person that really won his lane. I feel like maybe he didn't win his lane. He still had a tough time, but he did well enough.
I agree.
At the least.
Like during those fights, like I was watching it, even like that push into the top lane ranks. Like when you saw Miracle commit, and he's just like, I'm going to take this Rax. Gets caught inside the Sprout, can't get the instant damage, and then it's like, well, a little bit of damage goes into Smell. His shield pops, and Miracle goes from like what was 80% to 40% straight away. And you're like, wow.
He didn't have that much HP. He doesn't have magic resistance. So outside of a BKB, if his shield pops twice, that's like 500 magic damage every time that it blows up.
Yeah.
And you can recast that every like 5 seconds or something like that. Yeah. Definitely
so
Sumail.
We put it on Sumail. Sumail is the man to get MVP, doing 11,628 for his KDA and 65,808 damage. Not too shabby at all. And even healed for 3.1k. The biggest healer. He can do it all. Sumail can do it all.
He was so fast as well, responding to disables, constantly preparing for those. He removed a couple flaming lassos. Like, he was on top of every single team fight. I think his itemization was perfect. Like, he definitely deserved the MVP that game. But as a whole, I think EG together played amazing. They definitely covered each other in a good way. I think Fear's performance, considering how many times he died in his lane, was very good. You can maybe criticize him for dying too much, but...
I love how we get to start at 41 minutes. It was a nice long game, so we'll get the last 20 minutes worth of highlights.
Definitely felt hard for Bane to be successful in the late game as well. There's just so many nukes, so many disables. Aphotic Shield can just remove a Fiend's Grip.
Yeah. And Crit was also that big spanner in the works too. Like I kind of want to give him like a special mention. He was always jumping around. He was always like it was his initiations with the telekinesis, that huge range that just seemed to make everything work. You put the ward down, get the grab, pull back in the Razor every time, and create the space for Arteezy, Sumail to do work.
It definitely
I kind of want to say like Fear do work as well, but he was just trying to survive.
No, it was the same way for both Crit and Fear, in my opinion. They were at a position behind where they maybe could have been because they were losing, and they constantly made their abilities count despite dying afterwards.
Yeah. It's almost like watching a Venomous and just throw out the Nova. It's like, I've done my job, everybody.
Except slightly more high skilled than just pressing a single hotkey. Definitely some crazy moments. I think Arteezy did great using the Morph skill. He constantly stole Razor's abilities, used Static Link immediately, really benefited from abusing the health of transforming multiple times, like this moment here. Transforms back while still slept. That's a little weird. I don't know. Is that a bug? Who knows? But I think Liquid also played really good, for sure.
Yeah,
they definitely seemed like they were going to win at multiple points.
It was such a high, like, it was exactly what we expected from Liquid, right? Like, it's a high-tempo game, the heavy movements, their laning decision at the very beginning, having mind control in the mid. Like, how many times did he just crush DK? Abaddon wasn't having a good time in off lane. In fact, like, all 3 lanes, like, it's one of those games where you look, it's like, okay, all 3 lanes felt like they were won by Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And then EG just pulled back. Like, normally when you've lost all 3 lanes, you're like, okay, well, this game is over. But the Morphling played great. He got the space he needed to get those critical items. And that's when, like, a couple of kills here and there is the comeback mechanic that is Dota. Like, you just have to have a plan. And EG not only had a plan, it was the execution for me. Like, I cannot wait to watch these guys play further. They get to be the second team now that wins in the upper bracket of this Swiss format. So it's EG and TNC who get the victories today.
That's incredible. And remember what Red Eye said last night? He's like, oh man, too bad for EG they have to play Liquid here. And they end up pulling up the win. I mean, they're on the up and up, man. It's finally time for EG to be a tier 1 team, I think.
Is this the confidence for North America bias? Can you say this without bias?
People have been waiting for EG to be a tier 1 team for at least like a year, maybe 9 months, something like that. But they've had disappointing performances, mediocre performances, things like that. They've got a decent amount of, they've got a good amount of DPC points, but maybe this is the term they're finally going to win. I thought that they maybe could do a last tournament as well, but they ended up getting knocked out early.
So then the only other team we need to have do this is OG, and then we've got like both of the teams everyone was hoping would be really good back on the field.
I mean, there's a couple more. Navi.
No.
But but I mean, it's a great win. Either way, I think Liquid played really well. I still kind of feel like Phantom Lancer was maybe not the right carry here. I feel like he wasn't. He had such an easy game because Liquid won the laning stage so much that it felt like he could have been any hero. And if they had a hero that had better late game, maybe it wouldn't have taken him like 8 expensive items to be able to do cool things.
Yeah, like the amount of money too he had like in his backpack, which wasn't utilized. Like he had Silver Edge and Nullifier at the end of the game in his backpack. There's just nothing more he was really going to give.
Could have bought moon shards. Could have given moon shards to allies like Razor, but I don't think it would have made that big of a difference.
Razor was having such a hard time. Like we talked about, like Fear, like doing his work when he was down. When that BKB was gone, he halbered him straight away. Like he was making sure that like there was never any damage coming out of top and steal everything you want to. So he's going to try and steal it back, and then you just sit there disabled. So he's like, what do I do in this fight? That's what it's like. Aghanim's refresher shot, that top lane push to get the megas, even that probably wouldn't have been enough.
It's hard. There's a lot of stuff in every fight, and Sumail can clear creep waves, shield people that are dying. They can spawn treants to tank like the Razor ulti. It was hard for them to go high ground for sure. Maybe a different hero than PL, but he did in some ways help them win the laning stage, and there was a threat of Diffusal Blade. But I feel like he could have done all of the gank things that he wanted to do and that he did do this game on a different hero. Maybe they were anticipating Prophet to be different, like the lane trickery that EG had with their draft maybe influenced the PL to be picked there. But either way, very close game. Very close series of ganks that led to events. Like I feel like if I had to like write down what happened in this game, it would take many pages.
Well, don't worry. You can do a video on your YouTube channel later on,
That's
which
true.
is as long as your patch note videos.
Yeah, it'll be a long one for this game. There's a lot of stuff that happened.
I'd love to see it. What do you think about our next game coming up? So I believe we have LFY versus Virtus Pro coming up next.
It'll be an exciting one. LFY has been traditionally underperforming so far this year, despite looking amazing at the previous TI. So I would love to see them have a bit of an upswing in terms of skill, but against VP,
oh, sorry,
Toby is wrong.
We're doing the next one. We're doing Team Secret VGJ next.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, because we're finishing all the upper bracket now, because we bounced into the lower bracket for the Complexity Mineski game. So we do Secret VGJ and then Newbie versus OG are our next 2 games. Thank you, production, for correcting a poor caster.
So what's our next match again? You just said way too many teams.
So we have Secret VGJ.
Okay, that's a really good one too. Did you watch? We watched the VGJ game yesterday. They played amazing.
Yeah, they did.
DDC had like a perfect performance, died like 0 times.
Yeah.
I think he played Witch Doctor, if I'm not mistaken. And against Secret, I didn't catch the Secret game yesterday. That must have been like the first match.
Secret played Complexity.
Okay, I caught some of that match. I believe Cole had a big advantage, but then they kind of threw it. They basically didn't have stuns, and they couldn't win late game, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But Secret's obviously looking very good. They fell a little flat at the last tournament, but still got pretty deep. So they are obviously still a great team. I think it's going to be a good match. It'll be cool to see the styles match up, I think.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the supports actually go to work, and then even see the battle as well. Like you're going to have, I believe it's like Syla versus Ace now in that match. So
Who's going to play the lone druid? Probably Secret, because nobody else picks it. But that is Tyler's hero, man. You never know. Is it still his hero, though? There's like a bunch of new skills. And I don't know.
All right.
I haven't seen it in a while.
I think we're ready to go to a break. We're ready to go to a break. Yeah. We'll catch a breath of fresh air, grab yourself a beverage, and we'll see you all back here for our next game of the PGL Major.
Ready. Steady. Game on.